right now we have Zubair Choudhry, President of the Society of Professional Accountants of Canada, Ontario office. You have been allotted 7 minutes for your presentation. You may begin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, distinguished members of this committee, and thank you for the invitation to appear before you today. My name is Zubair Choudhry. I am the President of the Society of Professional Accountants of Canada. The Society of Professional Accountants is a private professional organization established in 1978 for the ongoing education and regulation of its members. Since 1989, SPAC has been operating two certification programs, the Registered Professional Accountant and Accredited Professional Accountant program. Both designations are subject to a registered certification mark under the Trademarks Act. Candidates with post-secondary education who complete the required courses and successfully pass examinations may be admitted to the society and are licensed to use the corresponding designations RPA or APA in the delivery of accounting services to the public. Sheridan College, Durham College, and McMaster University providing and continue to provide the RPA certification pathway for college and university students. The Society has also signed international mutual recognition agreements with counterpart organizations in Australia, Pakistan, and United States. Society has members across Canada and internationally with proven capability in their chosen profession. The Society also provides opportunity for new Canadians who have the required accounting qualifications and expertise from their jurisdictions to practice as professional accountants under the RPA or APA designation upon successful completion of their competency exams. The members of the Society also have the singular distinction of providing valuable, cost-effective, and reliable services to small and medium-sized businesses. They play an important role in helping local entrepreneurs promote economic growth and job creation in their communities. Schedule 7 amends the Public Accounting Act to dissolve the Public Accountants Council for the Province of Ontario, which currently govern public accounting under the Act, and the transfer of the governance of public accounting in Ontario to the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario. The Public Accounting Act also amends the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario to reflect CPA Ontario's governance rule. With Schedule 7, does not propose to amend, repeal, or revoke the legislative provision of the Public Accounting Act. We are deeply concerned that RPAs and APAs will inadvertently be obliged to become member of CPA Ontario or be under the impression they must do so. At issue and of great concern to us is the potential confusion between professional accounting and public accounting in relation to the exception to public accounting under paragraph 3 of subsection 2 of the Public Accounting Act, which states, a public accounting license is not required to perform a compilation engagement provided that it can reasonably be expected that all or any portion of the compilation or associated material prepared by the member providing a service will not be relied upon or used by a third party, whether or not the compilation or associated materials are accompanied by the prescribed notice to reader. I am here to emphasize that RPAs and APAs prepare financial statements with the compilation report accompanied by a notice to reader that are acceptable to Canada Revenue Agency, the banks, and their clients, whereas public accountants provide the financial information with audit and review engagement relied upon by third party and the public. CPA Ontario has introduced the compilation engagement standards CSRS 4200 that will be implemented in December 2021. We are already preparing ourselves for the adoption of these newly set standards by CPA Ontario. However, we deserve continued assurance that the proposed amendments to Schedule 7 will not extend the powers of the CPA Ontario, allowing it to infringe upon the rights of RPAs and APAs to perform a compilation engagement. President of the CPA Ontario yesterday acknowledged that their organization has no intention to regulate the work of RPAs and APAs. Nevertheless, we are concerned that the situation may change in the future, and we are therefore requiring assurance to protect RPA and APAs. We believe that our regulatory and governance framework regarding our professional accountants should be protected. We have recently asked the Attorney General of Ontario to ensure that the drafting of the new legislation take into consideration the need to differentiate between public accountants and professional accountants. Greater clarity on the government's intention is required to preserve and protect the well-established rights of the society to regulate the RPA and APA designation, as it has done so ably since 1989 to provide great value to Ontarians. As a first practical step, we submit that the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario Act be renamed as Chartered Public Accountants of Ontario Act to avoid confusion. Such initiative would pave the way for the Government of Ontario to enact legislation respecting the Society of Professional Accountants of Ontario to grant to its registered members the exclusive right to use the designations RPA and APA and to govern the discipline its member. This would contribute to delineate the rights and obligations of public accountants and professional accountants. For greater certainty, we ask the Government of Ontario to amend the Public Accounting Act by adding a fourth paragraph after paragraph 3 of subsection 2. The fourth paragraph would state, the Act does not affect the interference with the right of any individual who is not a member of CPA Ontario to A. Use the designation of registered professional accountant or accredited professional accountant if the designation is granted by the Society of Professional Accountants of Canada. And B. Perform a compilation engagement that falls within paragraph 3 of section 2. So thank you very much. I would now like to allow you to have any questions.
My apologies. Thank you for the presentation. The time has now ended. Now we will move on to our next presenters. We have two representation from County of Carleton Law Association, President Craig O'Brien and Secretary Anne. Now we will move to our second round of questions. We'll start with the government members of 7.5 minutes. MPP Kanapati.
Can you hear me, Mr. Chair?
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. My technology working now, and thank you, Chair, and thank you to all the presenters, and thank you for all the presentation. My question is for President of Space, Zubair Choudhry. Choudhry, thank you for coming to share your organization and expertise and insight into the profession. I'm not an accountant, but I'm a financial background. Before I began to the public life, economic and financial planning. I understand for many of the different acronyms and the title can be confusing. Can you explain to the committee the difference between the public and private accounting and what the difference between your organization and CPA Ontario is? That's my first question. And I have
Thank you very much, respected member. It's a very good question you asked me. I think that's why we need clarity. If you ask me that differentiating RPA from CPA, first we have to differentiate CPAs. There are two kinds of CPAs after amalgamation. If you look at that, there are only less than 10% CPAs who are licensed public accountant who can perform the audit and review engagement for a business financial statement. And then there are rest of them are professional accountants. So that is where RPA and those CPAs who are not licensed public accountant are sharing the responsibility of providing the services to the businesses and taxpayers, doing their bookkeeping, accounting, filing their taxes, and preparing the notice to reader compilation statement, which is most of the small businesses. They need that one when they go to the bank, when they need little loan, or when they have to file their taxes. Those compilation statement which we do, which we are authorized under the Act now, that Public Accounting Act 2004, allow RPAs to prepare the financial statement with the compilation report. And this is what we are asking the current government and the Attorney General to let that be and make it more clear that CPAs and RPAs both can do compilation report and continue giving the services to the small businesses, especially post-pandemic small businesses are at least too much hurt, and then putting them a little strain on that who they can hire as accountant and who cannot they hire is also going to be very stressful for them to face that reality. This is why we need clarity from the Attorney General to make it clear the distinction between public accounting and professional accounting.
Thank you, Choudhry, for that answer. And I'm following up that question about the COVID things, COVID-related question to you later on. You have raised the concern that these proposed changes will inadvertently public registered public accountant, that's RPA, and accredited provisional accountant, APA, to become members of CPA Ontario. The proposed change in this legislation doesn't in any way change the Public Accounting Act. So you can explain why you think this change, which doesn't impact the existing act, would require your members to become members of CPA Ontario.
Yeah, that's very good question again. Okay, obviously, after giving all the authority of the public accounting profession for setting the standard and setting the competency, professional examination, everything well given to the CPA Ontario, then that means the oversight body will be dissolved. So that means there's no public accounting body overseeing the role of the CPAs, what they are doing. So that is where we are asking them that under current Public Accounting Act, the compilation is part of the outside of the domain of the licensed public accounting. So keep it that way and extend that one and clarify that one. So then there are some RPA members, but there are some non-RPA members as well. Hundreds and thousands of them in all over Canada. They are also providing a similar services. And then we believe the CPA may extend their power after getting all that power, after dissolving the oversight body, that they may bar other accountants that they cannot do the compilation statement, and that will affect the small businesses to getting affordable services and quick services. This is the main concern that we have.
That's what I'm asking this question. We want to hear your voice to be heard and want to record it with the little guy. My follow-up question, what kind of professional development program your society, your association offer to its members, and how is that different from CPA?
Yes, I would love to explain that one. In 2019, RPA did a community consultation with the industry leaders, academic, and headhunters. And we wanted to find out, after amalgamation, what is that which is missing in the industry of accounting profession, that what we need to prepare our education program. So at that point in time, after consultation, we found out that academic told us and industry told us that they need accountant whose education is relevant and whose education is inclusiveness and who are also ready with the technology and the one who can also get those education and training very cost effectively. We do not need to teach the extensive knowledge to every accountant to become CPA when CPAs are doing a wonderful job. We commend them because the knowledge they have, the expertise they have to provide the services for the large corporations and medium corporations in the area of audit and review. But just to provide a simple financial statement for a mama papa shop, you don't need extensive education. You don't need the extra time saving to do those studies. So that is why our core education program, which is based on financial accounting, management accounting, personal and corporate taxes, finance foundation, and technology and data analytics. That is the future. So basically, RPA is preparing the future accountant, like a Z generation, the children who are in the high school today. So when they come out of high school, they want to choose a profession. So we want to make sure that they have a choice. They do not want to become CPA or they cannot become CPA. So they have an alternative choice so they can become RPA. So imagine that by depriving and not giving the recognition to RPA, will be depriving the future young generation to choose the profession of accounting. So that is why it is very important that RPA get recognition and let do the work they are doing already.
20 seconds left.
My question to Zubair Choudhry. You showed a concern about the Schedule 7, and there is also distinction between public accountants and professional accountants, and there is a reason they exist. Could you explain in the record the importance of the work you do as a professional accountant and the insurances that is necessary to protect this profession?
Definitely. Thank you very much, member. That's exactly what we are saying, that the distinction between the public accounting and professional accounting must be clarified by the Act. Right now, as it's stated, that only audit and review can be done by licensed public accountant, who are all CPA. So in other words, all licensed public accountants are CPA, but all CPAs are not licensed public accountants. So that needs to be educated to the public as well. And at the same time, the distinction between these two professional public accounting under the Act, that the compilation statement prepared by a professional accountant should be acceptable. So this is exactly what we are trying to bring that to the attention to the Attorney General and the present government. I think they will do a good job. They will do the right thing, because the business is getting hurt. Small business is getting hurt. Most of the big business also got hurt. But to creating these kind of barrier to the profession and not keeping the profession open and give the choice to the professional or to the student what they want to be. Do not dictate them. You cannot be this. You cannot be that. So open it up. Like similarly in the legal profession, if a member cannot be a lawyer, then he can be a paralegal. So saying that, well, you cannot be paralegal, you have to be a lawyer. And similarly saying to a professional accountant, no, you have to be a public accountant, you cannot be professional accountant, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. So similarly, this is exactly what the distinction is, that we hope that this government, I think that they are in the right track, and hope they will they're listening to us, and they will recognize the RPA designation, and they will give them the ability to regulate their member, set their own standard. So then small business can also have standardized services, and also can feel comfort that professional accountant is doing a good job. And that's where our society will manage them. And we also have a continued professional development program for members, so they get their knowledge up to date on regular basis. That is another thing we're doing. We even also have a program for practitioner training. So any RPA member who want to go in a practice, we give them the training, very extensive and detailed training, and where they go and perform those services with the standard and with the best services and best knowledge. And then that means small businesses are getting what they need, and the government is also getting the service, the financial statement and the tax return filing by appropriately and professionally done by RPAs.
Well, thank you. And you have been doing that, professional accountants, since 1989, exactly that. Is that correct?
Yes, we tried. We had been bringing this over to our, every time we get to the closer, then the government change and election comes in. We had a private members bill in 2003, which was defeated by 3 organizations opposing our point of view, that 3 against 1, that bill was defeated, and that bill didn't go anywhere. So we still hope that in the near future or very soon, government will introduce that bill again, Society of Professional Accountants of Ontario, and open that profession, remove the barrier, bring inclusiveness, let our future generation, young children, become professional accountants, and then do the service to the society and to the business. This is our hope, and that's what we are asking from the Attorney General. And I hope the Attorney General is listening, and I hope he will do the right thing.
And Zubair, also you mentioned that you also are proposing that we also rename professional public accountants to the registered public accountants. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, the similar reason, as I said to you, that you are giving the public accounting powers and authority to a professional accounting body, and that professional accounting body also has a member who they are serving who are not licensed public accountant. So that is where the confusion is. So this is why we propose that you change the name to the professional accountant. That means, so we public will understand only that professional accountant can do my audit and review. So there is no confusion. So on the other hand, if the government amend the section 3 of subsection 2 to include RPA in there as well. So that means that distinction of professional and the public can also be clarified by doing so.
And that's great. I think that's an opportunity in this committee.
Thank you.
And
My apologies. The time period has now ended.